All right, what's going on, everybody? We are officially live. It's a week after the draft, or a little bit under a week under the draft. Mac Jones was drafted by the Patriots, 15th overall. Mac Jones, is he going to be the guy? He slipped all the way to 15. The Patriots kind of had to take him. We're also going to cover the rest of the draft. We're going to talk about our season predictions, and that ain't no guess. It's what's going to be. So let's get into it. I forgot to change that banner, but we in business.
I like it.
By the way, before we jump into Mac Jones and if he's going to be the guy, we are going to be moving channels next week, I believe. We're going to have a dedicated channel.
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Yeah, okay. So 2 weeks.
You guys will know when we move it.
Yeah.
We will let you know. We're going to dedicate a whole channel to this. We'll have clips. We'll have everything. It's going to be essentially my YouTube channel that we're going to convert into the podcast channel, and we'll be ready to rock. But
it won't just be podcast stuff too. There'll be like one of us talking, or one of us like a 5-minute video. It'll be like all that stuff.
Yeah. It'll be mainly our podcast dedication though. But
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna hop right into this, and we have our first ever edition of I Seen You on the ESPN. So here is our first segment about Mac Jones. I saw this one little clip that we're not going to get copyrighted on that I'll play, but here's our first segment of I Seen You on the ESPN.
I seen you on the ESPN when they was talking about you being drafted by the NFL.
All right, so ESPN.
I love it.
played a full 15-minute segment. I'm not going to dive into it, but essentially, I think it was Dan Orlovsky was really high up on Mac Jones talking about the Patriots. Yep. I'm going to play a quick, tiny clip so we don't get copywritten, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. So let's. Guessing you guys can hear it.
Nope.
Can't hear that?
No.
Son of a bitch. All right. I forgot to hit that check mark.
Go ahead, do it.
All right. So I'll do it one more time. I'll remove it. I'll remove from stream. All right. So basically what he said was, and I'll play it midway when you guys are talking or something like that. But he said Patriots offensive line is set up for a rookie quarterback, and he's going to be the guy at some point. It's going to be early. He's going to play, and he's going to be good is what his statement was. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I saw that. His statement was, so the Patriots are going to run the rock all year. That was his thing with the way everything was set up. And he thinks that they need a quarterback that will be a third down guy, because he thinks there's going to be a lot of, 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 5s. And in his opinion, he sees Mac Jones being better than Cam for that situation. Because to him, he thinks that, again, we said it too, they're going to run the ball. We know this. Like, we've said it before the draft even happened. You know what I mean? But that was his thing, and it got me thinking. Listen,
it got the wheels turning a little bit.
Let
me play the video quick. Top
5 offensive line in the NFL in New England. I think Mac Jones plays, and he plays early, and he plays really well.
That's basically all I wanted to play. It was just what I summarized. But
yeah, so he came on the week. Yeah, he came on like I think it was like 2 days later, or whatever. It's like their hot take or whatever it's called, and that's when he said like him and this other guy went at it, and the other guy was like, Cam's gonna start, and he's adamant that Mac's the starter. So I don't know if I agree.
I have a hard time believing that they're going to roll the ball out there week 1 and anybody but Cam Newton is going to be the starter. That's not usually how Belichick rolls. Now, I always say these things with the warranty in there that we don't know what's going to happen in preseason. I think pretty much anything barring an injury, Cam Newton's going to be the starter. Like, I do not think that Mac Jones is going to walk out there week 1 and be the starter. However, I do think that he'd get some play time this year. I would not be shocked to see a situation where maybe Cam is struggling, or, I was thinking about this today, and I was thinking about last year, and I was thinking about there was probably 3 or 4 games where Cam was struggling and they tapped him, they pulled him. I don't necessarily know if that leash is going to be shorter, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Mac Jones go in there. Obviously, like it's going to be him going in there in those situations. But I think that in an opportunity like that, I think that there's a better chance of Mac Jones taking over and being the guy as opposed to what we saw with Jarrett Stidham, if that makes sense. Like with Stidham, we knew that, all right, he was going to get thrown into in the end of a bad ball game and he wasn't going to be starting next week. We all kind of knew, all right, it's going to be Cam. I think that if that situation arises where they're throwing Mac Jones out there and he plays well, that Belichick's going to be more inclined to start Mac Jones over Jarrett Stidham, if that makes sense. If we're looking at those 100%. Two situations, right? But I think Mac Jones is going to be super good, and I'm sure that we're going to get into his potential as a football player. I don't think he's going to be the starter week 1. I do not see Bill Belichick doing that. I don't know
delusional.
I don't know.
Sorry, delusional Pats fan is brings up a good point. Didn't mean to cut you off there. I just wanted to jump in on this comment, and that it's really interesting that Belichick, if he was really high up on Mac Jones, that he didn't go up and get him too. That's
what
kind of
what if he knew?
That's kind of a conversation.
How all the teams were going.
So he was kicking the tires on multiple trades. We know that. We heard that, and the price was too high, and he just decided to pass. And who knows what his thoughts were? My thoughts is he was probably trying to go up and get a cornerback, but to each his own. But
get off that.
I don't know, but it's interesting
happen.
just because Bill Belichick is not going to. People love this phrase of, you get a first round quarterback. It's not a matter of if, but when he's going to start. I don't think Belichick is like that. He's not going to start a quarterback just because he's a first rounder or because this team can win.
No, but Belichick's not going to pick him if he doesn't. I think he fell into the Patriots' laps, and this was what Belichick wanted. I think GMs talk more than we know. I think he had some sort of knowledge that once Mac Jones wasn't picked 3rd overall to the 49ers, not many teams were going to go at him. I feel like he knew that. I also feel like once the Bears traded to get Fields, he knew it. Mac Jones was falling to him at that point.
I don't know, man, because there's all these GMs I really believe try to hold their cards to their chest a little bit, and also you don't know who's going to go and trade with other teams to go and get Mac Jones if they want a quarterback, because Mac Jones is a 3rd overall projected. I mean, there are a lot of teams that were supposedly high in him too.
See, I don't think he was a 3rd overall projected. I think he was just the 49ers were keen to him.
A placeholder.
And I think that's it. You know what I mean? And once that passed, not many teams were looking at him, to be honest with you. Listen, I have my opinions about him. I don't like this pick as much as everybody does in Patriots Nation. I'm sure there's other people that don't too. And I don't know your guys' opinion because I never really asked you about it. But trying to save it for here. But to be honest, was it the best thing that they had to do it? It was something that Bill usually doesn't do what's needed, and he does like the off thing, like picking someone from a community college in the first round, or you know what I mean? But this 100%. Year, I think his hands were tied, and I think he knew he had to do this at this point because there was no other option.
But when you say that, are you inferring that he didn't want to, and this is what he had to do, or is this just like he knew it, everybody knew it, you have to pick a quarterback, so he did?
Yeah, okay. Second. I think he knew it, everybody knew it, and everyone was trying to be like, well, he's Bill Belichick, but I think this year was different because I think, like I said, his hands were tied. There's nothing else. And Eric brought up a good question. I think it was the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago. Like, is he in it for 5 years or is he in it for 20 years? Like, lead the Patriots on to 20 more years compared to 5 or 7 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think this pick is one for the future.
Yeah, but like the delusional Pats fan just said it. The Saints supposedly tried to move up, and that's what I'm looking at pick 14 too.
I haven't seen that.
I've seen that a couple times.
Okay, I haven't been looking for that, so I haven't seen it. That's kind of the way I look at it.
But I also think the Aaron Rodgers thing and the Jimmy G thing might have deterred them a bit because I could see both those guys going to the Saints.
I think the rest of the picks for the Patriots too, and this is kind of a segue into the rest of the picks.
But Mac Jones really does fit there.
Yeah, Mac Jones.
He
The more
does
that
fit in the Saints offense for sure.
I don't know. This is probably the worst part of the year for me as a football fan because I don't know all these players. I don't know. I don't know the depth of Mac Jones. But the more that I usually read about them after the picks because I don't feel like nerding out on football like nerd ass Cam over there.
Yeah,
making his videos.
I have so many points to make right now.
Nerd.
But Mac Jones, I was kind of reading up on his window throws and stuff like that, and some of the players that preferred him over Tua. I forgot what the wide receiver said they preferred Mac Jones over Tua.
Their whole team did, Eric. I guess their whole team liked him over Tua.
I gotta say, the more that I'm reading about him, the more that I'm liking the pick more and more. But it's funny just to piggyback on what you were saying, Mike. It's just like Belichick was at this point. I wonder what the other options were. I think that's the question: is what were the other options for picks? And Belichick was just like, I think he was just in a spot where he's like, I gotta have to do it. I gotta have to.
If I think, say the Saints did trade up, and they go to 14 and pick Mac Jones, I think that's when we see Bill Belichick trade down.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that they stay at that pick if Mac Jones isn't there. I kind of agree with you there.
There's no one there. If you looked at the draft, there's no one picked after Mac Jones that's maybe a wide receiver, maybe Bateman.
That's it. But even at that point, it's like Devontae, Jalen Waddle, and Jamar Chase were all off the board.
Yeah, so Bateman was the best pick, and he went in the second round. So
they were gonna trade down. Yeah. No, my thing about this draft and picking Mac Jones is I kind of wonder if Justin Fields was plan A. Plan A was looking great until the Bears traded up. Belichick was probably Belichick's probably tossing the line out there and talking to teams. What's it going to cost? And every single team was probably saying, I want this year's first rounder and next year's first round. And Belichick was like, I'm not doing that. Not a chance. Yeah. So
exactly
at that point, he's like, all right, well, looking at it. And Mike, I think you bring up a really good point when you say that, was Mac Jones truly the number 3 prospect in this year's draft class, or was it just the 49ers allegedly wanted him? Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a really, really good point because, to be honest, I don't know if Mac Jones is the number 3 prospect. To be honest, between me, you guys, and whoever's watching, I don't think Trey Lance is the number 3 prospect. I think Justin Fields easily is that number 3, which we'll get into. I'm sure that we'll get into that later. But I would imagine that how it went down on draft day is Belichick was looking at Justin Fields going, all right, if he falls to 15, we're 100% going to take him.
Oh, yeah.
Or we're going to try and trade up if the price is right. The price wasn't right, so he goes, well, I have 2 quality quarterbacks still here. If Justin Fields goes, that's fine. There's nobody else who's going to be looking at Mac Jones. We're going to go and pick Mac Jones, have to give up absolutely nothing. And we look at the roster that they already have with a bolstered offensive line and actual receiving threats this year. It's a complete sweet spot. And the one thing I will say about Mac Jones, and I don't know if we'll get into this a little bit more later, but I know Mike probably isn't super fired up about the pick. I don't know if Mike's not as fired up about the pick because if he's still thinking about what Justin Fields could have been, which I feel like is kind of what you're getting at, Mike. Eric, I don't know your opinion on the pick. I absolutely love this pick for New England. I think Mac Jones is going to fit right into place. He can do everything they need to. I just watched his highlights before I got off here, before I hopped on, just to make sure I was. But dude, this kid, his pre-snap read, his ability to read a defense pre-snap is insane. His deep ball
decisions,
he makes phenomenal decisions. Yeah. But here's the thing. Okay, so we can all establish he can throw a great football, right? He throws a great deep ball. He can read a defense. He can get his quick game going. He gets everything you need as a quarterback, right? He has all the intangibles. But what's the one counterpoint? Well, he played with the best talent, right?
This Alabama team was probably the best Alabama team that they've had on offense in 15 years when they were all together.
Here's the one thing. Here's the thing. What is the difference between Mac Jones and Joe Burrow? That LSU team that Joe Burrow had was the best college football team to walk through in years.
Okay. I get it. I think the one thing, maybe Joe Burrow's a little more athletic.
I would agree. Right. I would agree. But when you look at their numbers, Joe Burrow threw 60 touchdowns in 15 games.
Yeah, but I also don't think I'll say this. I don't think that LSU wins the national championship without Joe Burrow. I still think Alabama would have won the national championship without Mac Jones.
It's possible. It's possible. But, the thing that I'm trying to say is that, okay, if we're going to make the argument that Mac Jones is good, but only because he has great talent, then we should look at the LSU team with Joe Burrow the exact same way. Because that team had Jamar Chase.
I get that. But I think Joe Burrow was more important to that team than Mac Jones was.
We've talked about this before with
I get what you're saying,
big
Cam.
school and high-powered offenses. Yeah. But I really think this is why I brought up the stats of the tight window throws, and also Cam brought up the points of the pre-reads and the decision making. He's a really good decision maker, and he also throws the ball very well in tight windows when that opportunity is there. I'm not saying that his players don't have 12 yards of separation against University of Nebraska, Omaha, whatever community college.
He played a lot of good. He played a lot of good talent last year, just because they only played SEC teams. So, you could say that.
He goes to the playoffs, and then he goes and plays Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Notre Dame's. I'm sorry, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Notre Dame fan. Notre Dame's defense was one of the best in the country, and they did nothing to it was. Cam, am I wrong?
No, they had a really good defense.
They were the top 5 defense in the country, Eric. It's not a lie.
No, I know. No, Mike. The only thing that
they held them to
they
held
a little
them to
funny.
The lowest, what?
I know when Notre Dame loses that you're going to eat a bunch of shit on Facebook. You had a post on Facebook and there was 40 comments.
I'm the only one that likes
comments.
Notre Dame, though. No one around here likes college football. It's Massachusetts. You know what I mean?
I
So
know
you
what
have
that's
other people that like Alabama and teams that are good. Not that Notre Dame's not good, but Notre Dame's never going to compete with teams like that because of the GPA, because of the schooling. They're never going to compete with teams like that until they lower their academics standards. But that's never going to happen.
Got to get the hood rats in there.
Dude, I hate to say it, but it's true. Najee Harris barely passed high school.
Don't talk about Najee Harris is a Bay Area boy.
I'm just saying,
talk about him with
I'm just saying, those kids go to high school to play football, and the teachers are like, "Can you say the ABCs?" Okay, you're passed. All right. So
I have
let's
no
get off
comment
of
on
that.
this. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Should we move on from Mac Jones, or you still want to hammer on Mac Jones? I think we'll keep going. We'll keep going.
I want to say one thing about Mac Jones and what gets me with this whole Cam and Mac Jones thing. So do the Patriots. So the offense is going to be completely different if Mac Jones is the quarterback or if Cam's the quarterback, right? So do the Patriots look at it and say, are we going to change our offense for 1 year, for one player, or keep this offense the same that we're going to run with Mac Jones the next 5 to 7 years? You know what I mean? Because the game plan is going to be completely different between those two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You're going to see a different game. You're going to see a lot of play action reads. You're going to see a lot of option, you know what I mean? You're going to see a lot of stuff with Cam compared to you're going to see a lot of the old Tom Brady offense with Mac. Actually, you're going to see a lot of it. I think you're going to see most of that with him.
I think that the way that I would imagine they go about this is their passing game is probably going to stay pretty similar. And if Cam can't figure it out, he can't figure it out. I think that he'll be able to. I think that they're basically going to keep the passing game similar, and their running game is going to sprinkle in some more QB stuff. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. I wanted to ask you this because but
you if you're an offensive coordinator and you look at, you're like, all right, I have Cam Newton, who's 6'5" and an absolute tank, and I have Mac Jones, who looks like he has a body made of milk. How do I make this work? You have to take okay, I know that Cam is going to be able to run some of our QB stuff a lot better. We have to have that in the game plan. I know Mac Jones is going to have all of our quick game stuff and our play action stuff. Is going to be able to throw a great deep ball. I have to have that in the game plan in case he's in there. That guy, Cam, needs to be able to throw the football at least a little bit like that guy, Mac. And Mac, we're not going to ask him to run like Cam because that's not going to happen. So that's how I would do it. The best way to kind of mesh that is to sprinkle in some QB run, all of your power option, a little bit of your read option, your Q sweep.
I think it's going to be Cam for the next 2 years. I think Cam is going to be Cam,
which is not crazy.
It's not crazy, and I would love it, but I don't think so.
Well, I think the way that this team is built. I mean, you look at the draft, and we can dive deeper into the draft.
Yeah, we can probably start moving into the
with Cam Newton. All right, so that'll conclude. I seen you on the ESPN.
Well, I seen you on the ESPN when they was talking about you being drafted by the NFL.
Great segment.
It's a
I
good
love
stuff.
that
That's good
segment.
stuff.
I love it.
But really, the way that the Patriots drafted, I was kind of surprised with how heavy they went with defense, and I couldn't believe that was the first. They got the first defensive tackle, or was it?
Dude,
Or was it?
Yeah, it was the
first
first
off the
first one
board,
picked, yeah.
right?
Well,
Christian
Barmore was
Barmore.
supposed to be a first-round pick.
Yeah. So what was his deal? So like rumored character issues that Nick Saban shot down. Apparently,
Yeah.
he was hard
Said
to
he didn't
coach.
take coaching well. That was the rumor. The rumor was he didn't take coaching well. Like he didn't take hard coaching well, and that was like that's Bill Belichick's thing. Like we've seen him even yell at Brady, like on his mic'd up, like "fucking run it again, Brady." You know what I mean? Like he does shit like that. He doesn't care who you are. And the whole thing was Barmore was not good with that. He was more babied his whole like high school career and stuff because obviously those players are. When you're in high school, you're baby and you're a 5-star recruit. You're babied as hell. You know what I mean? Like they know without you, they're not going to be successful. So you come to a Nick Saban football team and he starts holding you accountable for, not running in the right gap or, taking too many penalties and then he starts blowing up. This is Alabama, bro. You got 6 people behind you that might be just as good or better than you. So like that was his thing. But like you said, Saban has asked about it like 4 or 5 times and he shut it down all the time.
Yeah.
Every time he shut it down. So
which is weird. Like that's where you kind of wonder, like, where did that? Because like one of two things is happening, right? Either it's true and Saban is defending him because he wants this kid to go high, or it's not true and Saban's just like he's speaking the truth.
Yeah,
it could be a combination of the two. I don't think that Belichick would draft a dude with legitimate character issues. And especially when he knows Saban as well as he does, I would be shocked if Saban like truly knew that this guy had character issues, told Bill Belichick about him. Belichick's like, I'm going to draft him anyway. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't see Saban. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Belichick has all the context in the world from Saban. My favorite thing about those two meeting each other and all the documentaries and the videos is
you ever see the HBO one?
Yeah, they like barely greet each other. Like Belichick walks into a room, it's like they haven't seen each other in 2 years or like months or whatever. And Belichick's just like, we ran cover 2, and they don't even say hi to each other. They just like start talking about football.
Talking football immediately.
But that's like that to them is like us being like, hey, what did you do this week? To them, it's like I ran a cover 6 and I didn't like it. So what do you think? And that's like, hey, how are you? How's the family?
Linda.
They have their own language.
Linda tried to get me in the sack this weekend. I was trying to study football and I was trying to get away from me. What were you gonna say, Cam?
I don't even remember. But back to Barmore. Is it Barmore?
It's Barmore.
I keep wanting to say Barmore. Barmore.
And we were saying Sertain.
We were
saying Sertain and it's Sertan, by the way.
Oh,
we were butchering that name the whole time.
Great job, guys.
Make a name for yourself in the NFL, and then I'll pronounce your name right.
Nice. There you go, Eric.
You probably should have known it.
No, with Barmore, I can't believe that this kid fell to the Patriots. And like when I saw that they traded up, I was like, oh, like who'd they trade up for? And then you go and you look at it and you're like, oh shit, this guy's like really, really good at tackle football. Like he is an absolute monster. And you think about this defensive line now. You think about the quality of this defensive line. You have Devon Godchaux. You have Lawrence Guy. You have Christian Barmore. Like those 3 cats.
Ronnie Perkins.
Ronnie Perkins, he's going to be an edge guy, but 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, this defensive line is going to be insane. This defensive line is like every single snap, you're going to see just an absolute freak.
Oh my God, yeah. They're going to be, and the best part is they're going to be competing. And that's where you get the best out of anybody is competing. You know that. You played football. We've all played sports. You have someone, knocking on your tires, taking your spot, and you want the downs or you want the ice time or you want the play time on the field or whatever it is, you play better. And it's great and everything, but I like this guy a lot. A lot of people were comparing him to like Sue. I've heard a little Donovan Sue.
That's pretty aggressive
to him.
That's
and
pretty
I was like, let's have the guy take a couple snaps in the NFL before we do this. But I love that pick. I mean, they gave up 2/4 in their second.
It was something like that.
Yeah. So they gave up a good. They gave up a decent amount for him, but
great pick,
fuck it,
though,
I
dude.
take it
I
all
thought it was
day.
a great pick.
This kid's a absolute. Yeah, I was just looking at their depth chart.
Dude,
but like,
their whole depth chart I think the versatility is so interesting. I was looking at all these players earlier today. Kyle Van Noy coming back is massive. I don't think people understand how big that is for Van Noy to come back.
Huge.
But you got Anthony Jennings is also kind of a sleeper to see how he's going to do in his second year. But Judon, you got Uche, who's going to be. We'll see how he does in his second year.
We're
But
talking linebackers right now.
I mean,
we're
but
talking
like,
the whole
look
defense.
Look at
like,
this front seven, dude. This front seven is insane. Lawrence Guy, who is an underrated, like very, very good defensive lineman.
Yep.
Devon Gottschall, who played outstanding in Miami, absolute stud. Behind Lawrence Guy, Dietrich Weiss, who's been like one of the better Patriots pass rushers for the last 4 years. Christian Barmore, we all know what he can do. And then when you look at third down, Montravius Adams did not play bad football in Green Bay. Byron Coward's an ex-5-star recruit. That kid's got some insane talent. He's just coming into his own. Henry Anderson played with the Jets. I don't know who Bill Murray is.
I think we've seen the last of Chase Winovich.
Not at all. Not at all. I completely disagree with you. Chase Winovich, I think, is a staple. I think
Ronnie Perkins takes the spot for sure. And then what are you going to have? And then he just sits a bench.
But this
like
is the thing is that
that's all I'm saying.
You assume that,
my opinion.
You assume that, like, but you can roll these guys in all the time. Like,
there's so many different.
I get it.
They're so different. There's so many different players.
Then why didn't he play it all last year?
Who?
Belichick had no Winovich.
Winovich played a lot last year.
He didn't play the whole season. They were talking about how Winovich should have been playing more. Whole season long. It was all over the media.
He sat out
a bunch of plays. No, he was just a third down guy at one point.
He's not an every down guy.
But I would love him to see him maybe a couple first or second downs. He never did that at all last year. I think he was just a plain old third down guy, and he wasn't even in there all the time. I'm telling you, I've read articles. I've been reading up a lot of that's.
I don't think
me
Chase
saying
Winovich
that
is going anywhere.
is not asinine to a lot of people saying that he'll get cut.
I think all these guys are going to be utilized that we just ran
Chase
over.
Winovich is not. I don't think Chase Winovich.
I don't want him to.
I could be wrong, but
even though he's a Michigan guy, and I can't stand Michigan guys. Besides,
we're also sleeping on the secondary, and we don't have to talk about the secondary now. But there's just. You look at this year. I mean, J.C. Jackson, you got McCourty, Stephon Gilmore, you got Adrian Phillips, and then Kyle Duggar. I mean, there is just depth.
Dude, this defense.
We mentioned his name, Ronnie Perkins. Let's talk about this because I'm going to say this right now.
I like Ronnie Perkins.
The steal of the draft.
I like Ronnie Perkins a lot.
When Gronk was picked, everybody said Gronk was a steal of the draft, and the only reason he fell to third was because of his injuries. The only reason Ronnie Perkins fell. Because he likes to smoke the marijuana.
The weed.
And the funny thing is the Patriots' next pick,
running back,
the running back Stevenson, he was
which is a positive because they like to light up together.
He was the one that they both got suspended together. Yeah, they're buddies. They were roommates. They both smoked together, and they both.
You guys think that they both like when they both got drafted, like they like called each other and were like, "Hey,
let's like
we got drafted to the Patriots."
The funniest thing about that is how
L we've ever smoked in our lives. Got us to the New England Patriots.
The funniest thing about that is how Belichick stays on top of rules, and he was probably like, "I heard, weed is getting legal around so we don't have to worry about this weed thing with these two guys." So he just
what
took them
is the weed rule now? They can't test it.
I have no idea.
I think they're good to smoke. I thought it was they were good to smoke.
I think they can only test it during the season.
They only get tested during the season? I would hate that rule.
It is the most insane. They should not be tested. They're taking narcotics throughout the season. They're getting injected with painkillers and
players must take 4 random tests for marijuana during the regular season. After the first positive test, a player must enter a drug program. A second positive test will result in a $25,000 fine, and a third will lead to a 5-game suspension. So you have
3 tries.
3 tries. You know how many people in the NFL are going to be smoking weed right now? Because basically the first 2 are slaps in the wrists. The first one's like, "Don't you do it."
But
Second one's like, hey,
But
I told you.
keep popping that Percocet. The NFL don't care.
Yeah,
You know where the pushback's
doing
coming from.
opiates.
It's all those doctors and stuff like that have all the,
It's big pharma.
yeah, they're pushing back on that. But I'm not going to get into it.
But I'm not
But I'm not
gonna
going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. That would
Damn
have been a
it.
perfect
It's
one.
big pharma.
That would have been a perfect one.
It is a shame we don't have a segment of we're not getting that needs to be a round table. So like maybe Cam gets week 1, Mike gets week 2, I get week 3, where like we do the whole you get the whole screen and you got a rant.
Yeah.
And you got a rant.
The whole Mac Jones isn't as good as everyone says, but I'm not going to get into it.
I'm not going to get into it. That is going to be an epic segment. Yeah, we'll get that going next week. All right, so next pick. So we have Barmore, and then we got.
Stevenson.
Stevenson.
Cam, I wanted to hear your opinion. Like, I thought you would be more jacked up about this pick.
I like it. Yeah.
It should have been a second rounder, early second rounder.
I like him a lot. I think that he is. I mean, the thing that worries me with running back guys is that it's a crowded room right now. Like it's crowded. Although they did not pick up Sony's 5th-year option.
Yeah, thank God.
Mike's excited about that. I'm still happy Sony Michel ran his way to a Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
But I mean, is it really that like when you think about it? Maybe it's not as crowded as you think.
One good game.
3 incredible games, but we'll get into that later.
But I'm not
going to 3 incredible games, but I'm not going to get into it.
It's 3 out of a fucking 18
the
game
most
season.
Important 3 games, though.
Touche.
I'm not going to get into it.
Guy's a fucking bum, but I'm not going to get into it.
Go Cam.
I like the Stevenson kid a lot. He ran a tremendous amount of screens at Oklahoma. I don't know. Every 3 clips in his highlight tape is like screen.
Hell yes.
Screen. The kid's thick as shit though. Like he looks like a little.
Thick. I love how Cam uses thick in real life.
He's a thick boy. He's got a little LeGarrette Blunt in him. He's like I think he's like
6 feet 250.
Yeah. So I think LeGarrette was like 6'2", which is insane. 6'2", like 250. But the Stevenson kid's like 6 foot 250, moves well. What are you guys laughing at? What's up?
Mike saying don't give him the extra couple pounds because I said 250 instead of 246.
He's 246.
I said 250.
Stevenson?
Yeah. That's a thick boy. That's
a thick boy. 6 foot 245.
When you're 6 foot 245, 246, whatever it is, you're bottom heavy. You're driving those legs.
We're comparing him to
you're running the A gap and the B.
Right?
Your goal line and you're pounding. That's what I was gonna say. Is that James
was
White
only 5'11", 227. So this guy's even bigger. Yeah. Blount was only 5'11",
no way.
227. Yeah.
I was gonna guess he was like 6'3".
No, 5'11", 227. This guy's 247, 6 feet. Yeah.
This dude is packing his legs, dude. He's gonna.
They're comparing him to Frank Gore. This is a lot like Frank Gore, man.
I heard a Blount comparison too, and
so
he's gonna be driving those legs.
LeGarrette I'm seeing is 6 foot 247. I thought that LeGarrette Blount was like 6'2". So I guess I'm crazy.
Yeah, well, 5'11", 227 is what LeGarrette Blount came out at. That's what he came out in the draft. So he might have put on some more weight.
All right, I just looked up his Pro Football Reference when he's playing for the Lions. So that
was at an inch or two.
Yeah.
I was at an inch. Or two.
Okay, so this kid basically is LeGarrette Blount. Then I think that he moves a little bit
LeGarrette Blount
than LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah. And I think if he wasn't suspended, I think he goes in the second round. Third round, not the fourth, but he does. Delusional Pat. Yes, that's the other thing I was just going to say. He can catch the ball out of the backfield.
This kid's really good. I agree. I agree with you, Mike.
I cannot wait. This guy. I think he's the number 1 back next year.
There's nothing I love more
over Damian.
I hate to say because I do love Damian.
He's not going to be the number 1 back next year, Mike.
I think he'll be number 1 or. I think he'll be number 1 or 2.
No, because he's not a lateral mover. Like he's not going to be.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Watch his fucking tape before you talk shit about.
Oh, you're telling me to check my facts now?
Yeah. Well, okay. I got one thing wrong. Here we go. Let's hear the Bishop comment. Come on, bring it. Guy makes one wrong remark.
Well, there's plenty of wrong remarks.
In all honesty, I did watch his highlights. I was watching his. Perkins and Mac before we got on this. He runs laterally pretty good for a big guy, man.
For a big guy, that's the big.
But that's his one knock too. But that's his one knock. People think he runs laterally too much, and he should be more of a north-south.
That's his negative. Belichick drafted him for one reason, to knock some jaws. Take that ball and knock some jaws, Mike. He's not going to be going lateral.
I bet you
Number one back. You are high. Whatever.
You should make that bet. Okay, so what is it? 5.5 or 4.5?
I say 4. He scores. I say over 4.5 touchdowns this year.
Do you guys want to make this bet, Eric? Do you think he scores under 4.5 touchdowns?
No, under that. No.
Yeah, because I mean, he's going to be. That's going to be the guy. If White's not in, he's going to be in.
Yeah, because the touchdown thing is a stupid bet because we're talking about a thick dude, a 6 foot, 250-pound dude.
Huge.
Of course, he's going to be giving the ball.
Last year they struggled in the red zone, Eric. This is
what are they going to give it to the kicker? They're going to give it to the thick boy.
This
on
is
the goal line,
them.
Mike.
I mean, it's a Patriots, man. They could give it to Taylor one week and Sony the next and Harris the next. You don't know.
True. That's true. But 4.5. You want to make it 6.5? Well, we'll talk some business. But
I'll say over. I'll say 5.5.
Who's making these lines, by the way?
I'll say it can't be.
Who's making these lines?
That was Cam.
Well, no, we're just making this up right now. Mike said 4 or 5.5, and so I was like, all right, well, let's pick.
I'd say 5.5. I'll do 5.5. I'll do over 5.5.
I'll do under 5.5. Sure.
Okay. What's the money on the line?
Just for the sake of the argument. Fine.
Okay.
$50 on Eric under 5.5, Mike over 5.5.
By the way,
I'll take
Cam,
that, yeah.
I need you send me your damn Venmo. I've been asking like 10 times.
Oh yeah, my bad. I'm not too concerned about it. I won a couple.
I was so pissed. Why the fuck did the Green Bay Packers pick a goddamn cornerback?
Let me start on the Packers.
Oh, I owe
Can't
you money,
get me
huh?
fucking wrong.
Thank God that my bookie didn't take my $250 bet.
Yeah, you would have been wrong.
Came out of that one a winner.
Jesus.
Thank
God for broken internets.
Yep. All right, so we got a couple more picks. Are we doing the late picks or?
Yeah. So this guy out of Michigan. This guy out of Michigan.
Cameron the Packer. Cameron
McGrone. He's not going to play this year at all.
No,
towards MCL late in the season. This was a pick for next year, I think. And Bill did it because this kid, if he didn't hurt his MCL, he would have been up there too in the draft. So I think this pick was cool. It was good. He wasted a 5th for a next year's pick. You know what I mean? Their linebacker core is fucking disgusting. You just went over it, right? So it's not like he's gonna be, wasted. Who knows what happens next year? Who knows if Hightower plays another year? Who knows contracts? Who knows? So this is a good pick to me. He's good. He's less of a cover guy. He's more of a.
He's a Big Ten linebacker.
Not a lot of cover guys in the Big Ten.
Stand in between his tackle box and hit people. That's what
but I mean, it is what it is. I read up on him a little bit, but I know this is like everything I read said this was more of a pick for next year and to keep him going because he's still young too. I think he was a junior.
Dude, he's only like 20 or something like that. He's super young.
Yeah.
So no, I like the pick. I completely agree with what Mike said. This is a pick for the future, obviously, since he's not going to be playing this year. Would like to see him, I think, put on a little bit more size. I'm assuming he looks a little bit light to be playing pro football, but I'm sure that all of that they'll be able to figure out. As far as like natural talent and ability, kid moves sideline to sideline, no problem. Like I said, played Mike linebacker in the Big Ten. He's going to be able to hit people.
He's 6'1", 236, Cam.
Yeah, I mean.
That's not that. He's not thick. That's pretty thick, man.
Because I was thinking about like for New England's defense, like
that's not too.
Linebackers got to be able to move. And,
we need a thick boys t-shirt. We got to open up a shop like thick boys shop or something like that.
Damn, we should just Eric put on some LBs and.
I'm pretty thick right now.
Are you still on your bender?
Either?
No. I mean, Took a few days off.
I played softball last night and I fucking drank and I'm drinking tonight too. I that was like my one thing was like no 2 nights in a row. Like if you're gonna do it, take a night off. And of course, softball sucks. But
what positions would we each play if we were just in our current states of bodies
for football?
Yeah, we got a position each of us. I think we're
practice squad, and practice squad.
Yeah, we're all in practice squad. But I'm saying or we're scout team. Either scout team or practice squad. Where are we playing? Like, where are we lining up?
Mike's gonna play guard.
I'm like the O lineman on.
Nah, Mike's not guard. Mike
Mike would play guard.
Dude, I love to play some defense.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're more like a
defensive
defensive
D line
end
guy.
I'll give him a D. Nah, probably like interior D.
Eric is the gritty linebacker who is vastly undersized, but will knock somebody.
He's like well, no, he won't knock anybody's ass out. But
I had some good hits in high school. You want to talk some players in Westfield? I had some hard hits.
He's like what's his name? We just retired from Dallas.
Sean Lee.
like a light skinny boy that's pretty good at covering and can lay out, but Eric would be injury prone just like him.
I'm injury prone too.
Okay.
I probably would not play.
I would get a concussion the second practice.
Immediately. During warm-ups, Mike would get
I had a coach. Okay, so you want to question me about my toughness, Mike? I had a coach when I was playing corner say I've been coached for 20 years, and he said I haven't seen a corner hit as hard as you before. I was like, fucking right.
Yeah, that's because you were the same. You're nice. The same. You were the same exact size you are now at fucking 16. So yeah, you should be burying 16.
No, I wasn't
at that size. Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't. I was 150 freshman year, and then I was like 190 senior year. There's a little space there. All right, let's move to the next thing. Nobody cares about our plane. My plane.
Move on from the Borophyll.
All right, so next we got. All right, we're gonna skip Josh Bledsoe because I don't care. Like,
he's good. He's
a good football player.
Yeah, he's good.
We
don't have to talk about him much.
Josh Bledsoe?
No. That's all.
No.
I just want to say he's good. I just want to say he's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right. So next,
okay, Eric's got something against him because he's the only backfield that they took, and he thought they were taking him at 1. So he's like, "Oh, fuck this guy, man. We don't need to talk about him."
All right. So
knows how important a cornerback or the backfield was for the Patriots draft this year.
I haven't watched a lot of this William Sherman guy yet. Have you guys?
No, I don't know anything about him.
All right, next we are going to predict the season record.
No, hold on. Trey Nixon, though. Trey Nixon was
Trey Nixon.
Ernie Adams' last pick ever, and Bill gave him the floor to pick him. So, because Ernie Adams is retiring after this year. Yeah. So, I have the video. I thought I posted it on my Instagram. It might be on my Instagram. It's like a 3-minute video, and Bill literally gushes about Ernie Adams for 2 minutes, and then he's like, "Ernie, it's our pick. This is the last pick you'll ever pick. This is your guy." And he picked Trey Nixon.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. I know it's not
sick,
but yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll send you guys after this. I'll send you guys a video. I thought I put it on but I might not have. Yeah, it was really cool video. I was like, dude, Belichick was just talking about since 1976. Ernie Adams has been changing the game of picking draft picks and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. It was real cool.
That's awesome.
And Ernie Adams made the call to Trey Nixon, and Trey Nixon was like, "This is something I can tell my grandchildren." So that's pretty cool.
I have very high hopes for Trey Nixon now.
Yeah.
That's not crazy, right? I really hope that
not at all. And I guess he was huge on him too, because at the end you hear Belichick be like, Ernie has been doing this forever, and because he's talking to him on the phone.
Yeah,
and he's like, he was big on picking you for his last ever pick. So who knows? I mean, obviously he's not as good as everyone thought. He's a 7th round pick, but we've seen some good 7th round picks come through and undrafted free agents come through this goddamn
Speaking
place.
of 7th round picks, Mike called out ESPN with a little boo-boo, Mike, if you want to get into that.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? So at the 7th round pick, the whole time they were showing notable 6th round picks, notable 5th round picks throughout the NFL, the lifetime of the NFL. And they had Edelman getting drafted in 2013. And I was looking at it and I was like, there's zero shot. He played for 8 years. He's been, yeah, right here. There you go, Eric. Yeah. He was drafted in 2009. They were off by 4 years.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And Trent Brown was drafted in 2013. So
really?
Yeah, so they were completely wrong for both of these. They're probably so tired at the end of the thing. They were so tired. It's the 7th round. The guys they have an intern.
There's an intern,
an unpaid intern that's been working
on his 5th Red Bull,
75 hours. Yeah,
out of his
he's
mind.
Just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just guessing at this point. Like, this guy looks young enough to be starting in 2013. Let's go with him. But
There's another white guy.
I was like, there's ESPN for you. Fucking.
I was wondering, like, when Mike sent this to our group chat, I was like, because I saw it and you were like, Edelman was definitely drafted before this. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they got like a year or two off. And then I looked at it and I was like, okay, he definitely played for like 3 years before 2013. Like, at least he's been in the league for a minute now.
Yeah, his big come out was 2011.
It is kind of crazy that he's been around since 2009. I never really would have guessed that. I think last year somebody brought it up and
been in the league for a minute.
I would have guessed probably 2013. Like 2009, we were kids, you know?
No, we weren't. We were 2 years out of high school.
I mean,
I was in Iraq.
That's kids, basically. All right. Let's do all right. So we're gonna predict the Patriots season record coming up.
Eric, we're old.
We're fucking old. So we're gonna break down not each game, but do you guys have your prepared
Wait. The schedules aren't out yet, right?
No, they don't come out till they don't come out till May. So I think we should leave that until May 12th. They come out next week.
Like, let's do a too early prediction.
Okay.
Guess.
Wait.
That ain't no guess. That's what it's gonna be.
I love that.
That ain't no guess.
That's what it's gonna be.
So, all right. So we have the opponents, and man, I was running through each single opponent, and I have a hard time thinking that the Patriots are not going to get 12 or 13 wins this year. I'm having a hard time.
So the 6th easiest schedule. Their team, they played the 2nd hardest schedule last year and went 7-9 with a worse team, way worse team,
with a terrible roster.
Yeah, and you're now looking at this squad and you're saying 13 games is it's not crazy. You don't sound as crazy as now, especially after the draft. You don't sound as crazy, especially with them with 12 or 13 million more dollars left to maybe go get somebody or trade for somebody, especially who knows, trade deadline, stuff like that. Like this, I'm sorry. I don't think it's dumb to say 12 wins, 12-5.
Are you going to pull up the graphic right now, Eric?
I am.
That's got all there. Okay.
Well, hold on. I'm getting yelled at real quick. The dogs or something. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
We're busy, Mike. Have somebody else take care of the dogs.
Do you want to?
We have a show going on here.
Come on, Mike.
All right. So let's look at the opponents.
Okay.
Atlanta
this
Falcons.
Is not the official, right? This is just the guess.
No, this is official. This is it. Dude, we know opponents for this year and next year already.
So they're opening up with the Falcons?
No, the dates are not exact, but these are definitely the opponents.
These are the teams, though. Okay.
Yeah, and the Cowboys got added. So
let's run through this shit then.
All right, so the Atlanta Falcons, I think that's going to be a win.
I think that's a win too. I would agree with that.
Buffalo Bills, let's just say they split.
I would agree.
Is that fair?
So, yeah, I would. A split, I think, is very realistic.
Let's go 1-1. We'll catch a win on the next one.
Okay, 1-1.
Panthers, I think that's another win.
2-1
has to be a win.
I think it's a win.
Houston Texans,
3-1.
Colts.
That's going to be a tough game.
That's going to be a tough game. Okay, all right.
That's going to be a tough football game. Do you want the optimistic one, or do you want there's going to be some tough games and you might have some tough losses? Because the Colts could be a tough loss. I don't necessarily think it will, but it very easily could be. Now, it also depends on when you play the Colts. Because if you play the Colts week 2, when Carson Wentz is still figuring shit out, then maybe it's a different story. But if you play the Colts week 14, 15, when that offense is moving, maybe it's different.
Let's just take a loss for shits and giggles.
I don't even know who the Colts drafted this year. I don't know anything about that team.
Me either.
Let's take a look. Colts.
The Colts are like this conspiracy theory team. Like you forget that they're an NFL team until
Right?
they pop up again.
I don't
You know
even
what I
like
mean?
if you were like, Cam, you have to tell me one player the Colts drafted this year. I would be like, I have no idea. Mike's back, by the way.
All right. So let's just take an L with the Colts.
So
We'll
what do you
take an
guys
L.
have? What do you guys have so far?
3-2. So
Let's just say
win
the
against
Colts
the
What do you have them
Falcons.
losing? Win, Falcons, loss, Buffalo.
Yeah,
We're gonna
and
go
then
1-1 against the Bills.
1-1 is what we're saying.
Win at Carolina.
Yep. Win
Win at
Texans.
Houston.
We'll take a crazy
Win
loss. against the
at-
Colts. That's our kind of off base loss,
So
I
you
guess.
think Wentz beats you?
I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know.
They
I-
picked what's his name? Their first round pick was like everybody
Could he
they were-
pay?
Kudipe, yeah.
I
So
don't know.
I
It could be. I'm saying that game's going to be tough. I don't think it's like a.
no, I don't think they lose. I'm sorry. I'm overriding you guys on that one. They win that one.
Okay, so
I'm
Mike
just
thinks
saying.
they
I'm
lose.
just saying we have to like throw in because the Patriots
You
always
don't have
lose
to
a
just
random
go
game.
who you think. No, but
Because if
you
I
gotta
run down
see-
this schedule, it's gonna be 14 wins. Like I feel like you have to.
it's not so.
you know what I mean?
Again,
You
that's
gotta-
not crazy.
All right, so I'll take a win against the Colts. Fine. I'll
All
stick
right.
to my guns. I think we're gonna beat the Chargers too.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think we're
so.
gonna wipe the floor
I
with
think we
them.
lose to Miami because they always do in Miami. So that's
My-
like one of those games you can talk about. Like they might lose. Like you can put that one. You know what I mean?
Do you think
You know
they
what we
split
should do?
against Miami?
We should
and-
just do the for sure ones for sure. Like for the first, be like, all right, these are the for sure wins,
All right,
and then count those up, and then work our way back.
the
You know what I mean?
the only teams on this schedule, I looked at it earlier, that we have to worry about are the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and maybe the Colts.
How
That's it.
great! How crazy
That's
is
it.
that? Did you ever think you were going to hear that in your lifetime?
what?
Chargers,
These
Dolphins?
teams we had to worry about. The
Crazy.
Dolphins.
I mean, look at this. The Dolphins, you got the Jets,
Ooh, we get to
the
I like that we
Jaguars.
get the Okay, we get to see the,
The
fucking.
Titans.
We get to see him. We get to see the Golden Boy.
The Saints. I think you know what's crazy. You want to call me crazy for one
Right.
time in this podcast? Is I think Belichick's going to put together a game plan that's going to beat Tom Brady.
We'll see. I don't think that game will be. I think that game will be deep in the season, anyways. So I think that'll be like week 12,
I
week
think that
13,
game's
or
gonna
something.
be
Why
like
do you
that.
think that?
I think that game's going to be closer than people think.
Yeah. Why do you think that?
Because that's the NFL for you, man.
Yeah,
I
they
think they're-
always have an early
they'll
season.
put 'em- No, I think that'll be in the middle of the season. I'm telling you, that's my opinion. And I also think that the Patriots are going to play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
You know why? You know why it's going to be early in the season is because late in the season, NFL doesn't have problems with getting eyeballs on games. You have the Patriots and Tampa Bay Buccaneers early in the season. You have a
that
reason
game,
to pull more people.
Eric. That game you could play anytime, anywhere, and you're going to get fucking eyeballs.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So why not do it during a time where you have less eyeballs or you're struggling to get eyeballs?
Because I think
take another bet.
whenever they
Let's
have
put
bye,
another $50 bet. I think
Is the
the
bye
game is going to
week-
be before.
they haven't
week,
decided bye
week
weeks yet,
8.
right? They haven't decided bye weeks
They haven't
yet,
decided.
right?
No, they haven't
No.
decided any of the dates.
Okay, I'm not going to make that bet until the bye weeks because I think they'll
Back
both have.
out.
They'll,
Back
no,
out
I,
for daddy.
I think they'll both have the bye week.
Back out for
Actually,
daddy.
I'll say week 9. Week 9. I'll say week
Okay.
9.
So 8.5 is the,
Week 9,
the
week
spread.
10.
Another $50 bet.
I do. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. You don't pay
Okay.
your bets anyway, so
Just money, right?
I don't pay my bets.
yeah, you don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right. So what's the season predictions? What do you guys got?
We only went through like half the schedule. Shit.
All right. So let's.
Eric, I feel like has low key ADHD.
I do have ADHD. I'm
I know.
diagnosed with
I know
ADHD.
you do.
Eric, that was
Take
so
your
funny.
fucking medicine, bro. Like,
We
let's
went
get through
through,
the whole
like-
goddamn
We
schedule.
went through like 4 games and we're like, and they play the Bucks. What do you guys think?
Because you guys are skipping forward with shit.
I
All
wasn't. Mike just came through and was like, they're going to beat the Colts.
Yeah, and he
I
made me
wanted to keep
rewind.
running
That's-
after that.
How?
All right,
I
so-
said they're
okay.
going to beat the
Okay.
Colts.
So all right. So Atlanta Falcons win 1-0. Buffalo Bills 1-1. We're gonna split with them maybe.
And that's at Buffalo.
I think they split Buffalo and they split Miami.
Okay.
Yeah. Me too.
All right. So we're 1-1 after Buffalo. At Carolina Panthers 2-1.
Yep.
Houston Texans 3-1.
Yep.
Yep.
Colts. I really think we're 4-1.
Okay.
I do.
You
I do
guys
think-
can talk me
Hey,
into
right
that.
there with
I have
you,
no
Eric.
problem
Yep.
with
Chargers 5-1.
that. Okay.
Yep.
Dolphins 5-2. We'll take the L early.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially if it's at Miami, right?
In Miami, yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
So
All
yeah,
right. Bills, there's our other win, 6-2. Dolphins, 7-2. Jets, 8-2. Jaguars, 9-2. Titans, they're kind of in a
that's a loss.
I don't
Against the
know. The
Titans?
Titans are not the same team, Mike.
No, they're
not the
not.
same
Where
team
is
they
it?
were.
Where is it?
That's actually a
Foxborough.
good question.
It's in Foxborough. That's a
Yeah.
win. It's a win
Okay.
for the Patriots. Then. Yep.
where are we at? 10-2?
10-2.
10-2. Or was it 10-3? All right. So New Orleans Saints without their quarterback. I think we got to go 11.
Without Drew, I would say 11-2. Unless they have some dude, unless Ian Book comes onto the scene, Mike, and just starts dropping dots.
It's not fucking crazy. It's not crazy.
He's good. I like Ian Book a lot.
Buccaneers
That's going to be a tight fucking game.
in Foxborough. It is going to be a tight
That's
game.
gonna be
I
a
think
tight
Belichick
game.
puts together a-
You're gonna be at that game.
I'm definitely going to that game.
I might pay you big bucks just to go to that game with you.
Yeah, you want to sit last row in the
I don't
stadium?
give a fuck where just to be at that goddamn game. Are you kidding me? We could make a whole day out of that and fucking film it. It would be amazing.
All right,
But,
so let's put the Tampa Bay Bucks to the side. So I think the rest of them are wins. Browns, Jets, Cowboys.
I think I think Browns is a loss.
I don't think
Browns defense is legit.
No, we're not losing to the Browns.
The Browns defense is legit.
Browns do have a good defense. I agree with you.
They picked up
But it's
my
but
Notre
it-
Dame guy, the linebacker. I don't know how he fell so fucking low, but he did. They picked him up in the 4th round, I think.
Look at Jeff AKC. Look at. All right. So, a side note, something that we need to.
Chargers have a better
is-
Charger has a better offensive line, I will say. I don't know if they have a better offense.
Wait, hasn't FAKC rolled through here and done this same thing to us and then been hell at show?
Yeah, he lives in his mom's
No, he's
basement.
cool. He's cool. Eric doesn't like
Jeff.
KC guys. We should hey, before you say something, Eric,
Can I say
This
something?
is so funny.
before you say something, we should always, before we start this, have like a reminder. The views of Eric does not
Do not represent
do
the
not
rest of the
represent the
podcast.
views of Mike and Cam.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'm sorry, Eric.
Yeah,
Go
but-
ahead.
You know what Cam's doing tomorrow is he has a Chiefs show tomorrow that he's starting.
Yeah, it's coming out tomorrow.
A Chiefs show.
Yeah, you've low key been sucking the Chiefs' dick.
Yeah, you've been sucking the teat of the
You
views.
have been. Listen,
Sucking the
I
teat of
usually don't jump on board with Eric when it comes to the Chiefs because his hatred is just. It's not matched.
What do you
I
guys-
can't match his hatred, but
Yeah, but wait,
come
what
on,
do you guys
man.
want me to do? What do you guys want me to do?
First it's the Detroit Lions teat you're sucking, and now the left.
I'm
teat
fine
of
with the
Chiefs.
Lions. I
I'm
love the Lions.
covering. I'm
Guys.
I
covering
love the
those
Lions
teams.
guys too, but why are you covering the Chiefs?
Because that's what does well on my channel, and I happen to like how the Chiefs run their football team.
Dude, Cam, I had so much respect for you until
If
you just
somebody
said that.
came to me and was like, "I'll give you $10 million to do 10 episodes of a Chiefs show," I'd be like, "Why don't you go and
shove that 10 million up your ass?" That's
take all
what
10 million? I got plenty of dollar bills in my little piggy bank."
especially
Above
with
my
Eric's new bar coming in. He doesn't need 10 million. He's
Yes,
got
sir.
money bank right there.
I can't wait.
By
to
the way,
fly out
that bar looks fucking
it looks so sick.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Looks so sick.
That epoxy took me fucking hours
That-
hours.
the-
It was insane.
That
Oh,
fucking
Really
we got
Detroit's
Nolan,
Lions
we got
fans, what's
Real
up?
in the house.
What's up? What's
boys?
good?
What's
How
up?
are we?
All right,
So we're saying we're realistically saying 14 games is like doable.
yeah,
Going
I-
14-3 is doable.
I have no argument. I think the Patriots are going to be good this year.
Also think that the Patriots, I said it before, but I think the Patriots play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and that would be sick. That would be so fucking sick. So I've only seen it once in my lifetime. The Patriots play on Thanksgiving, and
They played the
it was
Jets.
awesome. Yeah, they killed them. Actually, twice. I've seen them play them twice. They played one time. They played the Lions in their
Right.
the Reds, the awesome Reds that they don't wear
Which
anymore.
is sick.
Yeah, and then they played the Jets, the butt fumble game.
yo. So what are the final? So let's lay down some really early predictions. So are we all going 13 wins? I'm going 14 wins.
Hang on, we
I
got to
say
check out.
13. I say 13-4.
There's going to be a couple of random losses that
You know what?
There's
I'm gonna go 12 and 5.
The Patriots don't play the Chiefs this year, which is like really weird.
It's awesome. Well, that's what happens when you don't win the division.
Yeah. All right. So that ends
looking-
that ain't no guess segment.
Guess. That ain't no guess. That's what it's gonna be.
Love the segment.
That's awesome. So, hey, let's talk about Tom Brady's comments today or yesterday.
What's up, Nomus?
So, Tom Brady said he would trade 2 of his Super Bowl wins for an undefeated season. As a Patriots fan, how the fuck does that make you feel? Does that make you feel like he might be a little more selfish than you thought he was?
No.
I didn't really care about that comment. It was just kind of
didn't bug me at all.
I hate it. I think he's a.
Mike, you just hate Tom Brady now.
I
though.
don't hate
do.
Tom Brady. I hate what he
You do
does.
hate Tom Brady.
I don't hate Tom Brady. Don't say
Yeah.
that. I don't hate Tom Brady.
Well,
Still have a
everything
jersey.
about your actions tells me you hate Tom Brady.
I'm just mad at what he's done. Until he retires, I'm not a big fan of him.
I mean,
Yeah, there it is. I would. Let's be real. Brady said he'd trade 2 Super Bowl rings for a perfect season.
yeah. I mean, you have a perfect season and a Super Bowl in this day and age. That's something that will never be done again.
Oh yeah, and then literally, if he wins that season, no one ever has conversations about who's the best.
I mean, no,
Ever.
but that's the thing. Like, no one has conversations about who's the best now.
Oh no, go on Facebook. You'd be very. There's a NFL memes. It's called, and
Yeah.
this
I don't
one
like-
guy.
I don't like
said-
getting into conversations with those people because they're
They're idiots.
pretty commonly uneducated. So
This one guy was like, "Okay, don't count Super Bowl wins. Don't count playoff wins. Don't count." He's
Stop, he
"Don't
did not."
count touchdowns. He's like, but after that, who's the greatest quarterback? And I was
don't count any of the things that matter in this debate. After that, who's great?
I was like, what are you talking about, man? He was
So
like,
funny.
no, those are all team things. Those are all team things. So I
All right,
was like,
take the rings and get them out of your head for
Yeah.
1 second.
That's
for
what he
this
said.
conversation.
Pretend
he
Super
said,
Bowls
take
and
championships
playoffs
out of
don't
the
matter.
equation. Who's the best quarterback? And people were like, still Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Man, I have one family friend. I see him at parties all the time, and I cannot keep myself from having this conversation with him. He is adamant that Peyton Manning is the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
And he makes hard, like convicting arguments to me, and he starts getting angry. Like if the way Peyton Manning played and the way that he stacked up stats and all this stuff, he is just adamant that Peyton Manning's the best quarterback of all time.
Peyton Manning
Adamant.
pre-snap was the best quarterback of all time.
Omaha. All he said was Omaha. I don't know how the players
no,
were.
I mean,
distinctly-
He chose his own plays. Like he's a little different than Brady. You know what I mean? He called a lot of the plays at the line more than Brady did, but it's not even close. Oh, go to Hefe. Go to Lenny the Cool. I want to talk
Free
about
Jared
this.
Stidham.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. I think he's cut by the end of the year.
You've said that. And those, I mean,
Multiple times. I don't know how to feel about that.
No,
yet.
now even
I don't
more.
know.
Now even more. Since they got
And if Matt comes
Jones.
in and balls out, then probably, yeah.
yeah.
doesn't
You
make
guys
sense
feel
to
the
keep
same
both of
or
them.
no?
Well, I
I,
mean, at
wanted to
this
ask
point-
you. You know how
Okay.
I feel. I want to ask how you guys feel. You
I would
think
agree
great
with you.
quarterback?
I mean,
Why would
I don't
Belichick? I mean, if Stidham, I don't know. That's an interesting question because maybe Stidham comes in and just shows another level of competing. But I think we kind of saw an answer with him not getting any playing time last year. We talked about this last year.
Yeah, yeah.
We got a big answer there. But
The trust. And I don't see him coming back one offseason that much better where you're like, holy shit, just kidding. We
Mike,
got
you know-
something here.
Mike, you know what the problem is? Is his girl's too hot. He's getting comfy. Like you give a man,
I mean, you
you
play
give
the
a
NFL,
man
you're-
like a hot girl and like some entertainment, his ambitions go out the window. I said that was like an entrepreneur meme that I saw today.
Yeah, well, I mean, Giselle's not that hot, so that's why Brady wins all the time. 'cause
I think she's
Giselle's not
overrated.
That hot.
I think she's overrated.
I
She's
think
too
his-
skinny.
I think his first wife was hotter.
Let's get some thick girls in here, like all the skinny.
Yeah,
all the
too
thick
skinny. How
thick
is
girls in
like
here.
it's like banging a skeleton? What the hell's the point?
I would love to be in like the booth and be like Giselle. Nah, see her up
Nah,
there.
I'm good, bro.
Not for me.
Nah, she ain't for me. She looks like Skeletor's sister. She's not for me, man. Like, you know what I mean? I like them thick models, man. Not none of these skinny girls.
Give me the plus size magazine. That's what I always say.
Yeah, more cushion for the mother effing pushing, huh?
All right. So one thing that I wanted to bring up today is it's hard for me to watch some football videos without seeing the Aaron Rodgers stuff floating around. I kind of want to talk about that one more time because Pat McAfee has the best sports show.
I love him. He's
the best.
He's the new commentator for WWE SmackDown too. He does a great job there.
Really?
He's just good at everything he does.
He's the best.
Pat's
I'll gas that guy up 24/7
all day long. There was somebody when I posted that video on our Instagram. I was like, "We're going live for the draft." Some kid, some idiot.
I saw that.
I was like, "Go watch him then."
Wait, what did he say?
A better choice. It's probably a better choice.
What did the kid say?
Well, because Eric wrote like draft party, and he was like, McAfee has one. I'm gonna go watch his. And
he
Eric
said, "I'd rather
go
go watch Pat McAfee with his party." And I was
You're
like,
like,
"Go fucking watch him. Then,
Go
kid."
watch him.
Go
You
ahead.
don't have to tell everybody else about him.
Those and thousands of other people that are going to be watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Other
Like,
90,000 people he has in his live stream.
no, Eric, you're so right with him. He's just
90,000. He had 500,000 for the draft.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I was just saying because
500,000.
I was watching today and he had
No,
like
but-
90K in there. I was like, that's like we got like 9 people in here and we're fucking geeked. And Pat McAfee's got 90,000 people watching his show. That's fucking insane. That's insane.
Because he has so many. He has so many people that he was so liked in the NFL that he has so many
He's been
insiders
building
now.
now. He's been
Yeah.
building. We got to start building.
Barstool helped him too. I'm gonna be honest.
Barstool helped him a lot. That was a good move for him early. That was a really good. I was thinking about that today.
Getting
too.
out
Like,
of Barstool was a good move for him too.
I agree. I think that getting in at the time he did, and then why did he leave? Do you guys know?
It was a money thing.
Yeah, with
weren't-
Nardini.
They weren't paying him enough.
He thought he deserved more. It went graceful. Like they
they're still like
hating
boys.
each other.
Yeah. I was gonna say
He just knew. Like he had someone telling him, "You'll make more doing it on your own," and he went to
what's
Nardini.
crazy
and
to me is
Nardini
that,
was
like-
I'm not paying you that money.
Those
what it
are
was.
like everybody in that show with him. Those are like all his high school friends, right?
I don't know.
Apparently, one of my friends is telling me that like those are all like his boys from high school.
High school and
The way
college.
the way you drink the shot is just
Oh my
funny to
God.
me.
Like
you
you just, Mike, how many
bottoms up
chasers did you just? It looked like you had like 7 chasers with that.
I took 2 drinks.
Just
of
drink it
How did
straight,
I have
dude.
7?
Just
No,
drink it straight.
I have a little bit in this.
You gotta
and
chase
then
it?
a whole full shot. No, this is mixed, and then that. That's how you get drunk quicker. The more you know, kids.
All right. So the Aaron Rodgers thing, I really
more
wanted
you
to talk
know.
about. I really wanted to talk about
So
Aaron
the
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers thing, the more you see is he's literally like, if you don't fire this GM, I'm
Yeah,
taking
the
my
GM
ball
or me.
and I'm going
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
And I think he's dead ass serious. I think he fucking retires.
Dude, I don't think he's going to retire. He's not going to
If
retire.
they don't do it, if they call his bluff, he does not play
No.
this year.
The one, the what's his name on Pat McAfee was
why do you
the
think-
linebacker. What's his name?
AJ Hawk.
AJ
Yeah.
Hawk, his
He's
best
saying there's
friend.
no shot that he retires because, dude, the one thing about like Aaron Rodgers is
He
he's
didn't
not
say
gonna-
that today, Eric. I'm just saying that.
he is not going to take a pay cut like Tom Brady because Tom Brady was in a position where he's constantly winning. So you can do that with a quarterback like Tom Brady where he's building his long-term value. Like Tom Brady being the greatest of all time is going to go into the next 20 years of his life with endorsement deals, being looked at as the greatest quarterback of all time with the NFL. And he just has this mega brand where he can just cash in over and over. Aaron Rodgers won one Super Bowl and he is a super talented quarterback, but there's a large portion of the population that's going to be like, yeah, it was just one though. And he's just going to be kind of kicked to the curb a little bit, but we all know how talented he is as a quarterback. We all know that.
I think that's a lot of your opinion, Eric. I know you're not a big fan of him.
Public opinion. It's public opinion.
I don't think it. I think a lot of public think that he's one of the best quarterbacks to play the game. I see that
I agree.
a lot.
I think
agree.
he is. Yeah,
I
think
agree.
he
That's
is.
what I just said.
I think it's crazy to me that
No, you just said okay.
What's crazy to me is that relationship has gotten so hostile to the point where Rodgers literally is saying it's the GM or me, but it's not both. Like that is wild to me that throughout the duration of his career in Green Bay, that you couldn't have tried to mend that anymore. Like regardless of what people think of Aaron Rodgers, if you're a GM, like I don't care if you hate the guy, he's really good. He's been a top 3 quarterback in the league forever. And you can't do enough to mend that relationship to make sure that dude wants to play for you in Green Bay. It's not like we're talking about a small market team. We're talking about the grandchild of the NFL. And you can't do enough to mend that relationship. That's just insane to me.
Yeah,
it's insane.
crazy.
I can't get over it. And I don't think he plays in Green Bay this year. I think he's getting traded to Denver like as soon as they can get that deal done.
I hate Denver too.
Denver.
I hate.
We all
Denver
know it too.
He's going to get traded to Denver.
We all know
I have
it
this
too.
I have this one guy that plays. I played softball with. He's just a Denver hardcore. Hates the Patriots. Talks shit about them all the time. And this would devastate me because that makes the Denver Broncos a serious team for the next 5 fucking years.
The only problem with Denver being good is that they happen to be in the same division as Kansas City. And even with Aaron Rodgers, they're not going to be able to beat Kansas City. I don't see that happening.
I still see them making a wild card most of the time.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to get traded to Denver, and then he's going to be in the exact same position.
I think one of you said this. I'm not sure which one, but I also agree with whichever one you said it. I don't see him being moved to the NFC.
No, I don't think. There's no way he gets moved to the NFC.
I don't think they don't want to see him.
Like New Orleans, I bet
to do with him. Yeah,
I bet you New Orleans is like making a push like to get him, and there's no way. If I'm Green Bay,
see how they have no money either. Like
that's a good point too.
Like the only two teams that have reasonably enough cap space are the two teams that he wanted. One was the Raiders, one was the Raiders, and one was he said he wanted to play on the West Coast or with the Broncos. He gave 4 teams, and I don't think 49. Yeah, I know. Again,
who knows?
I know, but these are what he said. But yeah, like you guys said. Situation there.
Let me raise.
I would hate to be a Packers fan.
Let me raise a couple points. Okay,
unless Love is a boss.
If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I don't think if you go to another team, the money means as much as the money means to you when you're with the Packers. Because if you're talking to that GM and how shitty that guy is and how you've been treated, you're at the point where like the money means respect.
Like an ego thing almost.
Yeah. But for me, like if I'm that quarterback, and I'm going to another team, I'm going to be like, I'll take less money than where I was with Packers. Like I feel like he has a little bit of that going on. Am I crazy for thinking that?
I would agree with you.
Funny would it be?
Not less money, but
I would agree with you if he wasn't so old.
How funny would it be if Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers go through the exact same shit they went with Brett Favre? Like Aaron Rodgers retires, goes to another team, plays 1 year in the AFC, retires again, then goes to like the Bears or something for a year. Like how funny would that shit be?
I was reading something today and it was like Packers fans don't want another Brett Favre situation because like
but that was going to be that was going to be my next point. This is a question that I want to ask you both is Tom Brady at the point where the Patriots let him go. When he went to the Bucs, we talked about this for a bit and we said it didn't matter what happened with him in the Bucs because him on the Patriots, he was going to win a Super Bowl. And at some point you have to move on for somebody who is 41 years old or 40 years old. Aaron Rodgers is 37 years old. And yes, you look at Tom Brady as almost like a measuring stick, but at the same time, it's not insane. But I think it's crazy for the Packers to be thinking about moving on. And they've already been starting this process 2 years ago, which is nuts. But at the same time, it's worth thinking about and having a conversation about. Is it crazy to have a conversation about a 37-year-old quarterback?
So are you saying that there's
not one
there
that,
is
that shown? Yeah, not to me, not one that's shown that he's an MVP. Because
are you saying that there's a rationalization to how the Packers are doing this? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm trying to
Play devil's
kick
advocate.
play devil's advocate and kick the tires on the other.
Like,
side
is what the Green Bay Packers are doing that crazy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because what if he falls? What if he does fall off the cliff at 39? Even though the NFL
I don't think it's Eric. I don't think it's crazy, but I just don't agree how the Packers went about it. Apparently Rodgers didn't know that they were going to draft a quarterback until Jordan Love was literally drafted.
Yeah.
Like there's a completely different way to go about things.
Yeah.
Like, that's something where you pick up the phone and you're like, hey, we're going to take a cue. We need to start preparing for the future. Don't be angry. And like, that's all you need. Like, you don't even have to say don't be angry. Just fucking let the guy know that you're drafting his replacement instead of him sitting at home watching his TV being like, dude, T. Higgins is going to be sick to throw to next year. And then looking at the ticker and being like, what the fuck do you mean we just drafted Jordan Love? Like, what do you mean that just happened? There's receivers on the board. Like, that is a different way to go about things. Do I think what the Packers are doing is crazy? No, you should do this. You should prepare for the future, but you need to go about it the right way. No. Like, you can't do what they've done. At some point, every team has to prepare to move on.
I get that.
It doesn't matter if it's Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. It doesn't matter. If you know and this is the thing that's so difficult about the NFL is that you look at a guy like Rodgers and you look at the fact that he's 37 and you look at the fact that he can still throw a football 70 yards without question and be like, how do I prepare to move on from this? He's so talented. Like, am I crazy? At some point, there is going to be a time where that guy's going to retire, get injured, or move on. And you have to prepare for that. If you don't, you're going to be stuck and you're going to be screwed for like 3 or 4 years. So do I think it's crazy? No. Do I think they could have done it better? Absolutely.
See, I disagree with you on that. I think it's crazy.
I mean, we both.
I think it's
we disagree with both of what we're saying to ourselves too.
Well, I disagree with Cam completely. I think it's absolutely crazy what they're doing right now. Like, so there's a meme that I saw and it made so much sense. It was like the Chicago Bears called Andy Dalton right before they picked Justin Fields. And Andy Dalton has been on the Bears team for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, however long it's been.
Yeah.
And Rodgers has been the face of this organization, and they couldn't give him a quick phone call and been like, listen, this is what we're doing. Your job's obviously not in jeopardy, but we're thinking about the future and we're thinking about, after you. They didn't even do that. I'm sorry. It's crazy for them to have drafted a quarterback last year was nuts. It was crazy. And I get the only thing I do get with you saying, the only thing I will agree, they do have to plan for the future. But right now, I don't think that's the time. He's 37. I get it. Is he going to be Tom Brady and play till he's 45? I don't know. He could. We don't know that, but he's not showing us any sign of a slump. Last year was his best year he's had in the league.
Yeah.
Numbers wise, we're the worst team. So I'm just saying, in my opinion, it's dumb. They should keep him as long as they can, and to do what they did to him, I don't think anybody feels bad for the Packers as an organization. Everybody's on Aaron Rodgers' side here. Everybody.
I gotta hop in here. So this, I really think this stems from, probably 2 years before they drafted Jordan Love and them not adding weapons or them not shaping the offense to shape for a Super Bowl winner. That's the biggest problem for Aaron Rodgers. And I think the past 2 years have just been an absolute just nail in the coffin for Aaron Rodgers. And that's the reason why he's calling for the GM. He's been very patient, but also I want to throw this out there because I have a lot of Packers friends out there that I troll a lot, and I'm always looking for information to troll Packers fans with. And the one thing about Packers fans is that this dude's not speaking to his family. What kind of man doesn't speak to his family anymore? And also, he's got a level of arrogance about him. He's got a level of arrogance about him to the point where it's like maybe he just is a little bit selfish. Maybe there is another side to this story.
You're going personal.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
going
going personal.
You have no clue what's going on in his family life.
Just saying, I'm just
you don't know
presenting facts.
especially
Doesn't speak to his
being
families.
a pro athlete and what people think that they're entitled to once you get a chunk of change.
His brother's a celebrity too. His brother is a celebrity.
I'm sorry.
Celebrity
I'm
is
just
a pretty loose term when we're talking about Jordan Rodgers.
his brother is not a celebrity.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
He was on The Bachelor.
Oh my
That doesn't mean
God.
you're a
That means
celebrity.
not a,
That's a
Eric, if you
celebrity.
said- I just found that out right now. That you when you just said that. So tell me who's more of a celebrity, Eric? Aaron Rodgers or his bachelor friend?
Aaron
who didn't
Rodgers
get a
has
rose?
Danica
Eric, come on.
Patrick also a little stank on him too. He's got a little
Eric.
stank on him, dude. He's got a little stank on him too.
Nothing.
He's
it
not
has
Tom
nothing
Brady.
to do with football. It has nothing to do with football.
Not Tom Brady. He is not Tom Brady.
No one's saying he is.
No one
Tom
said he
Brady.
was. No one
Yeah,
I
said
will
he
clap when I
was.
make my points.
Wait, what are you
No
trying
one
to
said
say?
he
Not
was.
Tom Brady.
What are you trying to get at right now?
Yeah, I'm
So
so
confused.
confused at your point right now. No one said he was Tom Brady.
Maybe he's not the golden boy that Green Bay
Who
and the
cares? He
media
still wins. And he's still being
wins
screwed,
what?
Eric.
One Super Bowl?
He still wins games. They're always in the playoffs. They're always in the mix to be a Super Bowl
So
contender.
was Tom Brady with the 9
They're
Super Bowls.
always.
Won
Oh
6.
my God! I'm not.
Won
So Tom
6.
Brady is too, but you're just saying
He won 6.
Aaron Rodgers is the best. Is one of the best quarterbacks to ever live, and he's doing this without 6 Super Bowl wins. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say this. With Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, if they both had the same amount of Super Bowls, would you still make the argument that maybe Tom Brady is the greatest of all time?
I'm not going to get into that hypothetical.
yeah.
No. I'm just saying.
I hate that
I'm
shit.
saying hypothetically though,
Yeah,
because
I'm not going to make that.
I'm not getting into it.
I'm not going to go there.
I'm not getting into it. But I'm just saying Rodgers is a good talent, and what they did to him and what they are doing to him is just you have diehard Packers fans, and every single one of them is blaming the organization over Rodgers. Everybody.
I agree. Luke and I were actually talking about this the other day, and he was like, think about the receivers that Green Bay has given him in the past. And he made a good point. He's had Donald Driver. He's had I'm totally blanking out. Jermichael Finley, Jimmy Graham, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson. Like he's had some talent out there. Devontae Adams, like
the team on his
back.
This is the one devil's advocate that I will say. A lot of us sit here and we're like, the organization's done nothing for him. And to a point, I agree with that. But, and Luke brought this up, and it's an excellent point. You look at the 2014 team that went to the NFC Championship game against Seattle and look at that receiving core, it's not as bad as you think. Randall Cobb, Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, Jermichael Finley, like it's a better receiving core than you think. And if Rodgers was as good as everybody says he is, should be able to get it done with that. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's the devil's advocate side.
I disagree with that.
O-line, no. What the O-line look like?
I disagree with that. None of those players would be anywhere near where mentioning their name if Rodgers wasn't throwing them the ball.
I think for the show's sake, I did go on the other side. I really think Aaron Rodgers is an all-time quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback. I would say last year, 2 years ago, I would probably take him as a number one overall talented type quarterback too. I don't know.
Miss. That was definitely a draft miss.
Yeah,
sure.
but like at the same time, I think I don't know. Maybe there is something to him. I mean, he's had the tools before, and I think he's underperformed in big moments.
I agree. I'm looking at this roster right now from this 2014 NFC Championship game. I'm telling you, like, this roster is not bad. This roster is a roster that a guy like Brady or Manning and the guys that we talk about Aaron Rodgers in the same vein with.
All right, so you say Cobb was on the back end of his. He's not as good as he was.
I'm talking about in 2014.
Luke G's a savant in the comments right now.
14. Okay, 14. I thought you said that. Okay, yeah.
Not right now. I'm talking about like in the 2014 is a great example, right?
Yeah.
So just listen to the starting lineup. Eddie Lacy's playing running back. John Kuhn's playing fullback. Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson. Those are your top 3 receivers. In 2014, that is a legit receiving core. That's a legit receiving core. And then on top of that, you got your offensive line is Bakhtiari, Josh Sitton, Corey Linsley, TJ Lamb, Brian Balaga. That's a legit offensive line.
Yeah, but he did well with them. I don't get what you're trying to say.
What I'm trying to say,
he went 12 and 4.
This is all I'm saying is that a lot of times we put the blame on the franchise. We put the blame on the GM, and I think that there is some blame to be put on the GM.
A lot.
However, Mike, I agree with you. I think they should go out and get him more weapons. I completely agree. However, we have a tendency to lean on that as opposed to looking at some of these games. And the 2014 NFC Championship game is a great example because he has the weapons, he has everything there. And his excuse back then was John McCarthy doesn't call the right plays. So now his excuse is I don't have the right players.
You're making me hate Aaron Rodgers again,
I'm just saying.
which I love.
Which
I love.
But what was every Brady lover thing last year? Why they weren't mad at Brady? Because they didn't go and get him someone. They didn't go and get him someone.
That was one year, Mike. That was
it wasn't.
Mike, that's
finish. I want to hear where his argument.
Hold on.
I want to hear where his argument.
Listen to way too much WEI.
No, Patriots fans have. I don't. Eric, I don't leave
way
my house.
too much
I'm
radio.
not listening to the radio. I don't leave my house. So, I'm just saying, the Patriots fans, the past, it's not just last year. It's been for the past 4 years saying Brady has not been getting help. Brady doesn't get help. Brady doesn't get help. So
they won a Super Bowl in 2018.
Again, I get that. You're making my point, Eric. Brady is a good quarterback. I get that. But still, even when he won the Super Bowl, people still said their offense was lackluster. Still said it was a Brady thing.
That's how crazy New England is, dude. That's how insane New England
is. I get that.
I'm confused
they
what
win
the
Super Bowls.
is,
they win Super Bowls. And they're like,
my argument is Aaron's in the same position now, and you're telling me that one team in 2014 is makes him look like an asshole for asking for more help. But when Brady does it, it's okay. He needed to leave. That's why he's going to the Buccaneers. When Brady does it, it's okay. But when Rodgers asks for it, he's an asshole.
Why is
argument?
I'm confused at how these two things are the same. These two things
are a straw man argument.
So Brady's asking for help. Rodgers is asking for help. Brady is everyone's like, okay, no, I understand.
Brady never asked for help.
Yes, he did, Eric.
When, Mike?
Read the fucking book before you talk. Read Dynasty before you talk about like that.
You listened to it. You didn't read it. Don't say read.
Okay, so I listened to it. Yeah. Whatever. I still
don't say you read a book. You fucking listened to it. This is
when did Brady ask for help?
He went to Kraft's house and begged him for help.
Yeah, but it's not public though. It's not public.
It is public. It's in a book, Eric. It's public.
After the fact.
After the fact.
What do you mean after the fact?
I mean, the book came out like last year, didn't it?
But still, it happened in 2014.
Okay, so if the argument is that both guys have asked for help, I understand that. But keep going with your argument.
That's what I'm saying. So that's my argument. So why is one, I understand, and the other is he's a crybaby? It's because Eric doesn't like Aaron Rodgers, and Eric hates him, and he's looking for every reason to hate him. Listen, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy either.
In-house, Mike. He kept it in-house the whole time.
I don't think it's that he kept it in-house. I think it's the Patriots organization kept it in-house. I think this is a Green Bay's organization.
It's either in-house or it's not.
They're letting it leak. The Patriots didn't let it leak. Kraft kept that to himself until the book came out.
Yeah, but it depends on what the context of the conversation is. If a quarterback's going to, of course he wants wide
I'm also
receivers.
Confused at what point Brady went and asked Robert Kraft for help. Like
it was after they lost in the Super Bowl.
To the Eagles?
To the Eagles. He came and he begged. He said, I wanted out. He said, I either want out or you get me help.
Okay, who did they sign?
They didn't. I think nobody. You got to think after the Super Bowl, they didn't sign anybody.
Well, let's take a look. Hang on.
And then they won the Super Bowl the next year.
Yeah.
2 years ago. 2 years.
They won. They won.
No, they won. Yeah, they won. Yeah.
Very next year. But so Brandon Cooks was gone, so they lost Brandon Cooks.
They won because of their defense.
Yeah, but who cares? I mean,
I'm just saying.
You're after a Super Bowl.
They didn't get him help though, and people were like, "Okay, they didn't get you help."
This is like Imagine like that phrase that you just said there, like walking into a bar in Cleveland and being like, "Yeah, but Brady didn't have help, and they just won a Super Bowl."
Listen,
It's
I get
crazy.
it. Brady is the greatest of all time. I get that, but I'm myself is why is one narrative for one player and one narrative for another when they both ask for the same thing?
Because the one guy's winning and the other guy isn't. If the guy winning comes to you and says, "Hey, I need more," you go, "What the fuck do you want? You just won a Super Bowl."
Yeah, but what if the other guy just won an MVP?
Okay, then he's playing super well.
With
Nobody.
nobody. When you get someone, maybe that winning starts. See, that's all I'm saying. I'm
And
not
I
saying
know,
like you know what I mean.
The whole thing that we're confusing here is that like I agree with you. I think that the Packers should have gone. Last year was the beginning of my entire gripe with the Packers organization. I can't believe that I still, to this day, do not understand why they draft. Well, maybe it's actually becoming more of a known now why they draft
More light.
To be honest with you.
More light is coming into the tunnel.
But no, like the way that I think about it, it's like I get what you're saying. Why is it okay for Brady to want help and not okay for Rodgers to want help? I understand that argument. I just like the way that I look at it is like Brady had been winning throughout his career and they had been winning with dudes who weren't always the top of the market. And so with Rodgers, he hasn't won. So it makes it like I'm not really disagreeing with your argument. In fact, if anything, I'm making more of a point for Rodgers. Also, what's Luke saying?
No, I get it.
Luke is a goddamn savant.
He is.
No, Luke's smart. That's why that's why I like to listen to him when he has his shows, man. I like that shit.
Should I go take a piss?
I don't always agree with it.
I got to cook dinner in a little bit.
All right, I think that's the show.
Your boy is cooking. We'll be back soon, though.
Okay.
We'll be back Tuesday.
All right.
Oh, guys, actually, I'll talk to you guys after. But all right, see you guys Tuesday.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back
8
soon.
o'clock live every single
Same
week.
place, but it will be the last time we'll be here. But we'll tell you more tomorrow. Next
same
week.
place, same time. Until
everybody will be updated on where we're moving.
Love everybody.